أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا رحمة للعالمين أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
All praise and glory belongs to Allah, the one who is watching us, the one who is hearing us. As my Ramadan continues to move forward, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, so does our progress in regards to the love that we have for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the submission that we're supposed to feel inside of our hearts and soul. These are very trying times. Our hearts are in a state of anxiousness, we have sadness, and we're not sure what the condition is going to be or the future is going to be. It's very uncertain. The amal, when you do perform, if you were to keep this in mind, that this is an opportunity for us to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the solution to all of our problems. The solution to all of our problems is the advent of the Imam of the time. Without the advent of the Imam, none of our problems will be solved. We live in a time in which we feel that things are good, not at the moment, but we felt that things have been good for the Shias, that we are able to do our amal, we are able to do our majalis, where we have the institutions of marjaiyat, and we have the best of leaders. And we've been looking at our circumstances as a golden time. While these circumstances did give us the security and an opportunity to understand our faith and to have others to understand our faith, it made us a little bit in a place where we were content. And the need of the Imam was not really felt inside of us. We were doing the dua of Imam, we were doing our amal, we were doing our ziyarat and so forth. But this need that we need him just like we need oxygen had kind of dissipated. And now the times the way that they are, we feel that this need again is becoming more and more, we're becoming more and more aware of it. So these nights that you have, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us that opportunity that within our lives, and the way the circumstances are going, the opportunity is there. It is very possible that within our lives we are going to see the Imam standing right next to the Khana Kaaba and announcing that I'm here to take the revenge of the blood of not just Imam Hussain ﷺ, to take the revenge of the blood of Imam Ali, of the Anbiya, of the Awliya, of the Asfiya, and also the ones who went into the path that they stood against the oppressors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us the opportunity to be with the Imam of the time and to actually participate in an event which is the greatest event in the history of human beings. No event is going to be greater than the revolution of the Imam of the time and the way that things and circumstances are going to unfold. All of the enemies of the Anbiya in every time and era, whatever the problems they created, they exist today. And whatever the oppression that was done in throughout human history, that oppression is happening today. Right? So this night, if you're going to ask anything, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you this opportunity that you be alive. Then when the Imam of the time comes. Yes, Rijat is there. Yes, we can come back. Yes, Dua Ahad tells us that we have the opportunity where the Imam is going to call us and we will get up in our coffin, in our shroud, and we will help the Imam. Yes, that is there. But having this burning desire for the Imam to appear in your life, not after you pass away, in your life, to have this burning desire. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Him to give you that. Inshallah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is listening to us and He will provide that for us. We can recite aloud salawat, please.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل الفرج.
So one of the reasons why we started about having the topic of looking at the Holy Quran with three different angles of perception is because the relationship that we have with the Holy Quran reflects our relationship with the Imam of the time. It's directly proportionate to our relationship with the Imam of the time because Imam is also the Quran and so is this. There is no difference between the two. They're exactly the same light. They are exactly the same guidance. They're exactly the same leader. They're exactly the same teacher. They're exactly the same friend. They're exactly the same companion. There is no difference between the two. And if our relationship with the Quran gets better, it will be directly proportionate to our relationship with the Imam of the time. And if whatever relationship we have with the Imam of the time will be directly proportional to the relationship we have with the Holy Quran. So therefore, in the month of Ramadan, one of the things that we need to do, which the fasting allows us to do, is to separate ourselves from the bodily needs and to understand that we are not just body, that we are something else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says that this is the time when I'm hosting you. So we know that He's not hosting us with the physical sustenance, He's hosting us with spiritual sustenance. And the spiritual sustenance is the Holy Quran. So therefore, the 14 days that we had before, we mentioned to you that this separation from the body, becoming aware that you're something else, is important to do in the month of Ramadan, and the other is to build your relationship with the Holy Quran. So, because the spiritual sustenance that the Holy Quran provides is for our soul. So we started yesterday, if you remember. The word nafs we use, right? And we said that nafs is the folder, which you can say the opposite to matter. Okay? It starts its journey from matter, but it goes towards metaphysical. This journey towards metaphysical is done, one, by managing the body, because the body is the markab. The body is the markab, meaning is the vehicle. With me? It's the suit for the nafs. It requires this. So when you perform amal, you're using your vocal cords, you're creating the sound, you're utilizing your eyes, you're utilizing your ears, you're utilizing all of your senses. And that opportunity to facilitate that environment is taking you from a physical state to a spiritual state. With me? But if it doesn't take you to the spiritual state, then the amal that we perform remain within the material world. Right? But it's supposed to take us from the material world into the spiritual world. You cannot do that without the body, right? From the if two people are standing, both are praying salah, they're both doing ruku and sujood, the same actions of the body. But one's prayer is at the level of the awliya, and the other's prayer is at a level of an exercise. You know how they do yoga? Yoga is actually a practice that yogi means someone who's united with God, and yoga is a practice to unite with God. So actually, it has this religious connotation, right? But people now are performing yoga. They're not Hindus. They're not going by that tradition. They're just performing it because it's good exercise. And you can also look at salah as an exercise of the body. For back pain is very good. Now, maybe some people will be motivated to do sujood. There was an article I read. There was a person of another faith. I forget if she was a Christian. She had chronic back pain, and she used to do sijda for 30 minutes, and she got rid of her chronic back pain. So for us, like sijda for 5 minutes doesn't have medicinal value. If you want to have medicinal value for sujood, 30 minutes. And for us, it becomes difficult for 1 minute. Right? But if it's not taking you to the spiritual role, yes, your salah is going to have some benefit, but it's the benefit for the body, but not taking you to that place. Right? So now, as far as the journey of the nafs from physical to the metaphysical, just look at your own life. When you started becoming aware of self, you would look at before that, a child would look at the mirror and they'll get scared because they don't know that this is them, right? Because they don't see themselves as a body. But when they see the mirror, they see someone, they get scared. But then what do? Our parents tell us, this is you. This is you. You are looking at your own self. So this statement gets into our head that this body is me. Whereas we did not have this perception before, we did not know. But when we saw the mirror and the parents told us, this is you, we start looking at us now as a body. But then we have thoughts that would come. We had emotions. We did not know why these emotions are there, but they will just appear. In the beginning, the child's emotions is just a way to communicate. It's not really emotions. Like when the child is crying, it's not because it's crying, it's sad. The mother knows that it might have some stomach issues, is hungry, something like that. The crying in the beginning for us is just to let our mother know something is wrong because we don't know language. So then, the mother will take care of, okay, she doesn't know what's wrong either. But okay, we'll try to, move the child or give her some gripe water like we used to have in Pakistan, some colic medicine, and then the child is okay, so he's okay, right? But then we become more aware. This is the journey from physical of the nafs to the metaphysical. So we become aware that okay, we have emotions that I feel good, right? When the mother is holding me, I feel good. I feel relaxed, right? When the father is looking at me and he's smiling at me, right? What does the child do? Smiles back. You haven't said anything funny. It's just the stimulus reaction of the muscles. But as soon as the child smiles, he feels good. Right? It's not too much, right? This is our journey. Until 18 months that a child is there, cannot distinguish between faces. Like it only sees because the retina and the eyes are not built yet properly. So it just sees, like, on circus mirrors. Some mirrors make you look very tall, some mirrors make you look big and head is huge and the body is thin. This is what the child is looking at. But it just finds it to be funny. It doesn't know that this is funny, right? As we grow, these metaphysical things like feelings, emotions, right? Thoughts, the ability to think, right? The ability to be aware that you are, right? The ability for the attention that the parents give the child. Then when they feel that the parents are giving attention, the child feels good. When we get to the point where there is, let's say, your siblings and your parents give you more love than the other child, we feel an emotion. We feel that it's unfair, right? So as we grow, so is this metaphysical existence of ours. So is the ability to think, the feelings, the awareness of self. Then we become like, okay, I want to know who I am. So then what should I be? You follow me? Your thoughts are metaphysical. Your feelings are metaphysical. They're not three dimensions. And if you want, I can prove that. Can you imagine Eiffel Tower? It was because everyone's seen Eiffel Tower. That's what I'm saying. Or imagine your tower here at CBD. You can imagine? Did any construction need to happen? Did you get a contract? Did you get the metal? Did you get any of those things? No. You imagine it, it's there. Is it bound by time and space? It's only bound by your attention. But does it have the shape and form of 3D? It does. That process, that tasavvur, that imagination is part of your metaphysical journey of the nafs from the physical towards the metaphysical. With me? Yes? So your feelings, your emotions, your tasavvur, your imagination, all needs guidance. They all need food. Now, you say in English to like food for. Yeah. I'm trying to give you food for thought. We were taught if it doesn't need food. Why do we say that? Because it does need food. Food for thought means that in my mind I'm going to think, and by thinking I'm going to have something of a strength, and it's going to make me feel as if I've grown. Right? We say that this person is immature. Why do we say immature? Because he's behaving like a child, but he's 70 years old. No offense to anybody who's 70. I'm just giving as an example. But he's behaving like a child, so we would say this person is immature. Why do we say immature? Well, if it was just the body, he's 70 years old. He's mature. But that means that there is some other existence which did not grow, which was supposed to grow. We have expectation that this nafs should have grown to the point where the person should not be acting like a child. Right? So that means that there's some sort of growth. That means that there's some sort of evolution. It means something is progressing. It seems there is a journey that a person is going on. Seems like that a person would become strong or weak. Don't we say this person is a very strong-minded person? Don't we say that? There's a strong-minded person, there's a strong-willed person. Well, that means strength. That means that this person has something, has gotten something that's made them strong. Right? We say that this person has a strong conviction. Yes? Like Imam Ali Hassan was eating food, and his diet was this dried up bread that even people could not break. Right? It was so dried up. And he's eating that, and a person comes and says, are you the same person who lifted the door of Khaybar? Imam said, yes, I'm the same person. Said, but you're eating this? Now what is he thinking? He's thinking that this person who's so strong, they lifted the door of Khaybar, must eat like, protein, a lot of protein. Like our youths, they want to build their muscles, they eat a lot of protein. So Imam said that I did not lift the door of Khaybar with the power of my arm. I lifted the door of Khaybar by the power of my conviction. Meaning a person's conviction, the person's faith has power. How much power? It can get to the point where it can lift things that are impossible for the body to lift. Right? That means there's a separate growth, separate progress, separate evolution that a person goes through. I can give you I don't know if you remember or not, but last time I was here, I gave you a ladder for conviction. Does anyone remember? It starts with information. Yes, that's true. Okay, I'll just say it again. So, when you act on the information that you know, you gain knowledge. When you act on your knowledge, you gain experience. When you act on your experience, you get wisdom. When you act on wisdom, you get iman, you get faith. When you act on your faith, you get conviction. So this is a ladder by which you can get to the level of yaqeen. But in order to get to yaqeen, you need to have information, but then you have to act on that information. You can't just not act and just listen. You can't just like read the books and ask ChatGPT and not do anything. A person has to act. When they act on the information they know, then it turns into knowledge. Because knowledge is different than information. Information is, what is your phone number? That's information. Knowledge is, I know that person. That's not information. That's knowledge. With me? Yes? So when you act on knowledge, you gain experience. And when you act on experience, you get wisdom. And then when you act on wisdom, you get iman. Iman just doesn't come without action. As I mentioned to you, that a being that's alive, receives information, saves it, and transmits. This transmission of information is through actions. So as you do that, you get iman, and then when you keep on acting on iman, you get conviction. You see? So a person who will go through life, a nafs that will go from matter to metaphysical by taking these steps. Alright? Yes? So now all of these steps require sustenance. It requires, where do you start of the information? Information is the translation that you have of the Holy Quran. You need to understand what the Holy Quran is saying. That's the information, then you act on it. So as you act on it, you get knowledge. And then when you keep on going like this, so the Holy Quran takes you to conviction. And when it takes you to conviction, you open the Quran. Now the Quran is not dead. It's alive for you. Because it was a companion with you throughout the process of maturity from physical to the metaphysical. So therefore, Quran becomes da'watullah. It becomes a spread of sustenance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which He has done this in this particular month. Why? If you can recite a salawat, please. So the third angle, so the first one was the Quran is alive. The second one was Yes. So Quran is the spread of sustenance, spiritual sustenance. And the third one, we mentioned yesterday, is a love letter from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So now when we say it's a love letter from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to show His love to you, and to remember you, and to tell you that He loves you, He sent the best of messengers, the best of all messengers, the Holy Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
To deliver you that letter. So what does it say in the letter? That, I created you, you belong to me. Right? If you look at the language of the Quran, when it talks to us, it says, I created you. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks those people who deny his existence, He says, did you create yourself? Or were you created? And then every human being can see that I did not create myself, so I must be created. So when you are created, who is the creator? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, look, you need not to worry, I am your Rabb. Right? If you're going to be in problems, I am your Rabb. I will remove those issues and problems for you. Right? I will tell you what is right for you and what is wrong. There might be some things you think are shar, but they are khair for you. I will tell you. You belong to me and you have to come back to me. Right? When you look at Hadith Qudsi, it has even more of the love, the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala projects His love to you. He says that if a person was to know in how much intensity I am waiting for that person, they would leave this world. Their souls would leave this body. Just if they were to know how much I'm waiting for them. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes a being that we have a hard time loving. And you remember yesterday I mentioned to you? When I say yesterday, you just go all quiet. And then there's the, come on, move on. We already know what you said yesterday. Yesterday I told you that every love that you've ever felt or you are going to express is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There hasn't been anyone that you've ever loved that was not the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will not receive any love that is not the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, you already have a point of reference. You already feel the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So when you have this, then a lot of the things become clearer. Yes? So love in itself, if you were to look at it, is probably the strongest power that will make you do an action. There's no power stronger than love. It is actually an elixir. It changes the state of a person. Remember we said the journey of nafs from physical to metaphysical? Love changes the composition of a person. They're no longer that person. When a person falls in love with someone, they're no longer that person. If you remember when you became a father, or when you became a mother, you were not that same person anymore. Before that, you were someone else. Now, you are someone else. Why? Because of the love of the child. So the strongest power to transform a person is love. You want it? Yes. One or two more examples, and we move forward. You've seen a chicken? Yes? Chicken is a coward animal. Yes? You go near it, it runs away. Yes? But now the same hen, when he gives eggs, doesn't run away. It will fight even snakes. What happened to it? It's the same chicken, but why is it now not being afraid? Because the love of the child or the love of the eggs has changed this chicken from a quality of cowardness into bravery, from the position of weakness to the position of strength. Right? So this is what love does. Right? Your mother can stay up all night before the same person needed 10 to 12 hours of sleep. But now, after the mother has become a child, she'll sleep 1 hour and then wake up and then sleep another hour, wake up every 2 hours, have to get up. She's able to do that. She could not do it before. You ask her to do it before, she couldn't do it. The same person who used to sleep 14 hours a day, now because the father sleeps 5 or 6 and goes to work and brings sustenance. The same person who used to just buy clothes from themselves, now doesn't have any clothes, is just buying for the children. Same person who used to spend hours in front of the mirror looking, good. Now the other people have to tell him, please get a haircut, trim your beard. Right? What happened? It's the transformation that a person went through because of love. Right? So if we are truthful and if we understand that we are in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this love would transform us. This is the strongest power that can transform a person. Right? Like we always say that I want to change. I can't seem to change. Well, the biggest power to change you is love. It has done that for you in life. You know that it has done it. It can do it again. It's just that you don't see that as the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One scenario I'll tell you and then we'll move forward. As a 13-year-old teenager, and the Holy Prophet is passing by, and he says, Salam to the Holy Prophet, wa alaikum salam. And the child says, because he's 13, he says that, Ya Rasulullah, I love you. Prophet said, okay, how much do you love me? He said, I love you more than my parents. Okay? That's it? No, no. I love you more than my brothers. That's it? No. I love you more than my life. Right? Then the Prophet said, that's it? Right? I love you more than my life. And the Prophet goes, okay, do you love me more or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Said, do you love me more or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The child goes, Ya Rasulullah, the reason why I love you more than my parents, more than my brothers, more than my life, is because you're the Prophet of Allah. Meaning what? The reason why I love you more than everything is because of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you are Rasulullah. And because I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you are His messenger, therefore I love you more than all of this. It's the same thing with Imam Ali alayhi salam. If we love Imam Ali alayhi salam more than our own life, more than our parents, more than our family, reason why we love him, because he is the wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the wasi of the Holy Prophet. The Prophet is of the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when we disassociate ourselves from that love and we say we only the love of Imam Ali alayhi salam, then we forget that it's actually the projection of the love of Allah. And this becomes, we are like that. Like for Imam Ali alayhi salam, you'll be able to sacrifice everything. But then when it comes for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a 17 minutes becomes difficult. 17 minutes, you know what I'm saying? It's salah. But for Imam Ali alayhi salam, no problems. For Imam Hussein, no problems. You've seen that in Iraq in Arba'in time. People open up their doors, they open up their houses, everything. They whatever they earn the whole year, they give for the zaireen of Imam Hussain Sasam? For servitude, they become in servitude. For how long? Until Arba'in. After that, the emotions at that time for Imam Hussain Sasam is so much. They're willing to give everything. Right? So we get transformed by the love of Imam Hussain, by the love of Imam Ali, but the transformation we don't connect it to the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, we're able to sacrifice a lot for Imam Ali and for Ahlulbayt themselves. But when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't have the same level of motivation or strength. You know what I mean? So if you love Imam Ali, it is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if it's the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is the greatest power for you to change. It has the greatest power of transformation that can happen. All you have to do is tune it a little bit. Next salawat for them. And the thing with also it's the transformational change and the greatest power, but it's also the fastest vehicle that can take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. I still keep on thinking that you don't believe me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is lovable, or you can actually love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Imam Hussain sacrificed everything for what? Out of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was the love of Allah that made him that strong and sabir to sacrifice everything he had. Me? So now if you are with me and you say, okay, yes, I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you need to pick up the love letter. You need to read that the person, the being that you love, has sent you a letter. What has he sent? Right? If we do this, there's many other places that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not send you a love letter. You know the other love letters He sends us? His difficulties. In Hadith Qudsi says that I send difficulties to someone that I love, like a person who is traveling and wants to send gifts to the ones that are at home, so they are reminded of him. For example, I'm away from home. If I was to send flowers to my wife, when she receives it, she will think of me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when I love someone, I send them difficulties that way. That when the difficulty comes, they remember me. Right? So if a person is, if a difficulty comes to you, is also love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? But we don't see the difficulty as a love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it is. With me? There's also so many other traditions that actually tells us that He expresses His love this way. Shall I give you more, or you're okay? More? About the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in difficulties? He says that when I love someone, I drown them in difficulties. Like, you know, in the ocean, someone wants to throw you there and drown you in the ocean of difficulties. He says that when I love someone, I drown them in difficulties. Right? So now, if you think about it, what kind of love is that? But He expressed this love, right? To whom? Who was given the most amount of difficulties? Who was given the most amount of aziyat? Yes. The most amount of hardships that were given by people, or they were put into hardships, right, was the Prophet. And the Aima Masumin al-Muslim, their lives were full of difficulties. That was the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now in that difficulty, when the Prophet would come back with stones that have hit him and thorns that were put in his way, he comes home with garbage in his hair, all by himself. Okay? What is he doing? He's doing his duty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to him for the betterment of the people that have thrown garbage at him. Does he complain? Doesn't complain. He comes home and the daughter, Abiha Bibi Fatma Zahra Sallallahu is taking the garbage out of his hair and taking care of the Prophet. When he started telling people about Islam, the kuffar at that time, the unbelievers, they threw stones at him. His head started bleeding and he went. There was a mountain close to the mountains. Hazrat Jibreel came and said, Ya Rasulullah, if you just tell me, I will obliterate this nation. I will finish them off. The Holy Prophet said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not bring me for annihilation. He hasn't brought me for that. Then the Holy Prophet put his hands up and he said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the day of judgment, I want to be the one who is going to take the account of this nation. Because I don't want my nation to be embarrassed in front of the nations of other prophets. Can you imagine? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet, on the day of judgment, I will take the account of your nation so that they're not embarrassed in front of you. This is the Prophet that we have, the amount of love that he had. Right? What was this love that he had? It was the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he was projecting on us. With me? You want love letter? I still don't think, One day when you need a friend, when you are emotionally distorted, when you are in pain emotionally, mentally, sit down, take the Holy Quran, open it. And you will see that when you start reading, you'll find verses that speak to you, that will comfort you, that will guide you in that issue. It's there. But what do you need to be in which state? You need to be in that state where you are needing, not just reciting, needing. That you don't have someone to guide you. You don't have someone to show you love. Pick it up, open it, and you'll see. Inshallah, we believe that this is the letter that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to us out of His love. The other thing, when you have love for the Quran, then you want to be in servitude. Right? You want to serve the Holy Quran. And that you can do, like for example, in the community, you can become a reciter, you can become an hafiz, right? You can tell people, you can teach people the Holy Quran, right? This is as in serving the Quran, right? Because it's a love letter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you want the other people to know. So when you become in servitude to the Holy Quran, whether it's at home or in the community, then the Quran, you become a lot closer to the Holy Quran. With me? So it is very much recommended that you do that. Can you recite the salawat, please? The other point is that the Quran is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, tomorrow we will go through it. As it is the night in which the greatest human being, one of the greatest human being that had the journey to become the nafs of the Prophet. He was the nafs of the Prophet. Meaning, whatever Prophet's self was, whatever knowledge that the Prophet had, whatever was the metaphysical side of the Prophet, Imam Ali ﷺ became that. Okay? And the nafs of the Holy Prophet was martyred in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was hit on his head in the house of Allah. If you were to, for a moment, get your mind towards a being that is the nafs of the Prophet, his shan, his greatness, his honor is such that the whole of the universe, okay, he has authority over. And he's fasting, and in his fast, he's going for Fajr prayers, and he's standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a sword that was dipped in poison, the poison that the person told him nobody will survive. This sword was brought down on his head with a force that opened up. The wound was such. Imam Hassan ﷺ had to come and put a cloth around the head of Imam Ali. He finished his prayers. Imam Hassan ﷺ comes. He has Imam Hassan ﷺ has Imam Ali's head in his lap. He is coming in and out of consciousness. Imam Hassan is looking at Imam Ali. A father like Imam Ali is wounded, and a son like Imam Hassan is watching his father. It is unimaginable to feel the level of emotions. Right? You have a beautiful being that is called Mujtaba. A beautiful being from inside. Someone who's close to Allah, who's pure. And another being who's the nafs of the Prophet. And his body is injured, his head is open. He's looking at him. Imam Hassan cries. One of the tears falls on the cheek of Imam Ali. He opens up his eyes and looks at Imam Hassan. He's crying. He says, "Son, why are you crying?" Imam Hassan looks at Imam Ali. Imam Ali says, "Why are you crying?" Imam Ali is consoling Imam Hassan. The one whose head is wounded is consoling his son even in this condition. Imam Ali says to Imam Hassan that, "Don't cry, you don't know, you can't see, but the Prophet is waiting for me. Bibi Fatima is waiting for me. The angels are waiting for me. The prophets are waiting for me." Imam Hassan gets Imam Ali to the house. Can you imagine Bibi Zainab? Bibi Zainab starts crying. Imam Ali is in pain. He has the poison is going inside of his blood. He's in pain. He says, "Can you tell Zainab not to cry?" It's very difficult for me to hear the cries of Bibi Zainab. Imam Ali salam, when Bibi Zainab would go out, he would make sure it's at night. Nobody would see Bibi Zainab. Imam Ali salam, if you could see in Karbala, you come and see. This is the same Zainab whose chadar was taken. And she had to ask the Imam of the time, "Should I burn in this tent?" or should I come up? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you from the bottom of our heart that because of this night, give us the opportunity to purify ourselves to the point where we are eligible for the advent of the Imam. Accept our prayers and our asking your grace and your mercy. We are asking you not because we are worthy of asking you, we're asking you because you are worthy of being asked. We are not in a place to ask you, but you are worthy to be asked. If you do not help us today, if you do not help us tonight, because the time is so close, we want to make sure that we are eligible for the advent of the Imam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wal-Asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqq.